So I wasn't around yesterday to do a live stream review of the manga chapter because lately the super manga's really not been putting in much effort in the story, and I didn't feel really compelled to be coming back from the engagement that I was actually in. And also, wouldn't you know it, manga sales are ticking down for some reason. It's almost like the readers are saying something to you. Come closer. They've seen the story before. Either way, if you've not been keeping up, they've basically been retreading the superhero movie plot in the manga, with some very minute stuff added, not really enough to make you go and read it, which is at best neat, but then also made me angry about throwing into doubt the best marriage in Dragon Ball. So yeah, chapter 95, that was basically the lead up to Orange Piccolo with the majority of the Gamma 1 and Gohan fight, and we finally find out why Android 18 decided to come along with Krillin to the fight. Because she didn't trust him, thinking he might be having an affair with a woman. But he's a cop and he was taking orders from his boss. Krillin is the most loyal guy in the group. Why would he cheat on his hot robot blonde wife? Why? Can you tell I'm a little bit annoyed? If I get to 2,000 likes on this video, I will definitely make a rant video about it. Orange Piccolo arrives on the scene and we were getting rumors about some maybe new material about this form. It might pop up and we'll probably use it more in a future discussion as well as if it's even omitted. But for now, let's actually talk about the chapter. The manga chapter goes along the lines of Bulma finally admitting to herself that maybe she was a little bit too hasty with grounding Trunks and stopping the whole hero stuff from happening. Since now all the intel about Hedo went unheeded, good. So now that explains how Trunks and Goten managed to make their way back to the battlefield, despite having their wings clipped. And also it's funny to see Bulma trying to call Piccolo whilst he's in the middle of a fight. I mean, it's a shame that Orange, the mobile network, doesn't really exist here anymore. Piccolo would be a great spoke slug. Just Piccolo just picked up the phone and is like, "Yeah? What's up? I'm kind of in the middle of something. I got enough of this stuff from Videl, Bulma, stop it." You think that Gamma 2 would actually stop? But then again, Gamma 2 would be absolutely nothing, so yeah, it could have been funny. So instead she calls Krillin and 18, further emphasizing that they're important to the plot. It's like they're all trying to go, guys, seriously, Krillin and 18 need to be there. We are explaining to you why they are there. Bulma wanted them there. They came of their own free will. Yeah, okay, we get it. It's further clarification and emphasis. We understand why they're there. Right, okay. Magenta in the manga actually comes off as even more desperate and stupid, so he still thinks that bullets can harm Piccolo despite Gamma 2 being tanked in 2 pages. It's even more abrupt than it was in the movie. Then of course we get Pan wrecking many worlds, and then Gamma 2 comes in once again in clutch explaining why he's the best character in the movie, and he gets some more heroic stuff, as does Hedo. When Magenta does his thing of trying to activate Cell Max and them having the standoff, and Hedo basically comes off as, "Nuh-uh, my skin is impervious to bullets, so there, But at least this guy has the know-how to actually make it a reality, instead of just being a thing that many people want to do when they don't get their way in roleplay. I bet he pulled that gimmick in tabletops when he was younger. But anyway, Cell Max gets activated anyway. The gang arrive on the scene and Bulma dunks on Krillin yet again. Yes, I know Toyotaro doesn't really like Krillin all that much, but this time around, at least he's got a point based on his antics from chapter 91, which quite frankly is one of the biggest low points of the entire super manga for me. The whole spiel with Gohan's eyesight improving as he transforms is actually cut down from the movie, which is a shame because it actually made a lot of sense, but I guess it's no real big loss, yeah. But I still find it weird that Piccolo is surprised that Goten and Trunks have grown up here. He hangs out with Gohan's family all the time. And surely one day when Piccolo was there looking after Pan or something, Goten would have come to visit and... it doesn't really matter, but yeah. This leads then to the biggest thing that came out from the leaks. The 2-page spread of Cell Max arriving and roaring, and wow. Where Toyotaro takes from Krillin fans, he gives back to the Cell fans. This is a seriously gorgeous looking panel. The detail is remarkable. It kind of looks like he got some inspiration from Attack on Titan. It's great in capturing the first roar that we got in the theaters. But the Gammas are still nothing for him. But the big difference in this arc will probably come from when Goten and Trunks go in, and this time they're in their battle gear instead of their civil clothes. I bet maybe we'll also get some interaction with the Gammas and them finding out they were an inspiration for them. That's kind of hopeful that maybe chapter 97 might contain some interesting, juicy new content. But honestly, I really wanted this in this chapter though. And the end of the chapter being when Gamma 2 actually does his major attack. And also, Trunks lost all his teeth in this thing, apparently. I think that was probably an error. Or maybe he's now a creepypasta. All in all, this chapter seems to be like some kind of admission of some errors early on with Bulma grounding the boys and stuff like that. Because I remember when Bulma actually grounded Goten and Trunks and told them not to be heroes anymore, and now she's telling them to be heroes. It feels like you can't turn off and on like a light switch. Your partner is Vegeta. The world is in absolute peril. Goten and Trunks have a modicum of strength. You don't want to be curtailing that. They are grown up now. They can take care of themselves. They were fighting Boo when they were 8. They know what to do. Like, seriously. I mean, Trunks is still a really smart kid, he just doesn't apply himself very well. Goten is an absolutely lovely little biscuit, and he may not be the brightest person out there, but he's good-natured. He wants to help people. So why are you stopping them from helping people? That just made no sense to me. I remember being really angry about that. Almost as angry as Krillin not being able to chase a car. Like, seriously, the best thing in that arc, I'll just talk about it again, is that Krillin just could have just lifted the car up, taken it to the cops. He could have just flown at the speed of light and go, there we go, problem solved. Where's my paycheck? But no, we of course had to have Krillin being dunked on because Toyotaro absolutely hates him. Like he loves Gohan and Piccolo, which is why I'm pretty sure that when the higher-ups told Toyotaro to redo the superhero arc, it's all about 2 of his favorite characters. I'm pretty sure he didn't resist all that well. And speaking of one of the characters he likes, Orange Piccolo is in it, but he barely features. I was really disappointed about this because we really didn't get anything else about Orange Piccolo. In fact, he transforms down. I don't remember whether he does that in the movie or not, but you don't even really get that juicy eye candy with Orange Piccolo being around, the big bulky form, which I found hilarious, but also really cool. And no exposition or internal monologue from Kami or some kind of understanding or knowledge that Piccolo would have gained from having Kami in his mind to like say, I remember this form now. The Ajisa tree on my back. It's all coming back to me now. Some kind of understanding and exposition would have been nice after the fight from Gamma 1 and Gohan, which we've already seen, but it would have been nice to have a little bit of information about the Ajisa tree in the manga to provide some context for Orange Piccolo. Because there is a lot of blowback that this form was just given to Piccolo because Toriyama likes Piccolo and he wants him to be relevant again. It was a cheap buff. But if you think about it, Kami is part of Piccolo now. He made Shenron. Of course Shenron's going to treat him with bias, because he's like,
hey, my creator man, how's it going? You want a little extra thing? Oh, you want some extra power? Oh, sure, why not, buddy? I'll give a little bit extra because you're so nice to me. You gave me existence. There you go, pal.
It makes total sense. Dende splashing it with water, since water is the biggest life source for all Namekians, I mean, it does make a lot of sense. It's pure Dragon Ball. A lot of things in Dragon Ball don't have to make sense. They just gotta have a little bit of connection to the original source material. I'm just so disappointed we didn't get any more of that to actually understand more about Orange Piccolo, because I bet we will now barely see this form again popping up because, well, it depends on what they do in chapter 100. Do they go past the end of Z, or do we get a reboot or something like that? Please don't let it be a reboot, but seriously, just Orange Piccolo was barely in it. Yes, I know he'll come back when Cell Max has his thing, but for the moment it just seemed a little bit like, I hope we get more of that later. The Saiyaman being back in it was pretty cool, and like I said, it will add some more stuff in the next chapter because they'll be fighting along with the Gammas, and the Gammas will be like, you look really familiar. Have I seen you before? And then they'll be thinking, whoa, so cool. You kind of look like us. And then there'll be this connection, and then Gamma 2 will be like, oh, you're our inspiration. I want an autograph from you. You're so cool. And just that dynamic, because we didn't get that in the original movie because the Saiyamen didn't exist, the X1, X2. So therefore, we'll actually get a little bit more relatability between them and the Gammas. And actually, this might make Gamma 2's sacrifice hit even harder, because then Trunks and Goten will have that connection to them and therefore be really sad, or maybe we might actually have them trying to stop Gamma 2 from sacrificing himself. But that's neither here or there, because Cell Max comes back, he looks scarier than I thought he would, and Toyotaro does get to flex some more, because this artwork is really good. You really feel the Attack on Titan vibes from here, because clearly there was a lot of inspiration for them, because come on, that whole thing, yeah, that's the Colossal Titan right there. What else? Gohan's still as feckless as ever in the manga. We get more Krillin bashing from Toyotaro. I've already talked about that and more, so I won't bother anymore. Also, by the way, for anyone wondering about Carmine, he did survive, as we do see him being escorted away by some grunts, maybe getting some medical treatment elsewhere, which does tell me that he might come back again. The last remnants of the Red Ribbon Army. Because it was left open-ended in the movie, but here it's a lot clearer. I know people will be thinking, why do you really care about Kami, man? What's the point? Well, it's because he was done dirty in the manga, because in the manga, he's just another minion of Magenta. Whereas in the movie, he actually has a personality, he has some quirks, he does have some really good moments in the movie as well, and you feel like, ooh, this guy is actually kind of important. You know, he might appear in another movie, like that one summoner guy from movie 10, he appeared in Broly. He might pop up again. Whereas now in the manga, you really don't care about what happens to him. It's just a shame. We feel for him. We still don't get why they bothered to put this arc in the manga, honestly. The manga sales aren't really improving for Super because there's nothing to get excited about. And based on sales from the Saiyaman mini arc, like Volume 20, the end of the Granola Saga, it's at a really bad low point. I'm really concerned at the moment Dragon Ball's a ghost town, and the showrunners don't seem to care. Because they just seem to think, oh, well, people in Japan didn't see superheroes, so we'll just repeat it to make sure everybody does. But it seems like, yeah, people did see it, it's just they didn't really care about it. It's just like, oh, I don't know what they're doing. But hopefully, I hope they actually do a better job next time out, which is where I'll see you next.